You've heard that investing is the best strategy for getting rich. Fortunately, I'm here to point you in the right direction. I'll show you how simple it is to increase your wealth through investing. The top 5 index funds will give you an idea of what to invest in. But before we get deeper, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. So, without further ado, let's get started. First, however, let's define an index fund. An index fund is a mutual or exchange-traded fund that tracks a single market index, such as the S&P 500. These funds are passively managed, and the index determines all of the holdings of the fund. The typical objective of an index fund is to replicate the underlying index performance. Next, why would you choose to start investing in index funds? Risk diversification is the primary justification for investing in index funds. If you only speak to one person and things don't work out, you suddenly find yourself forced to spend every evening binge-watching Netflix by yourself. But if you're conversing with lots of people, you'll never be without a TV companion. Investing follows the same rules. While picking individual stocks to invest in can be a profitable strategy, it can also be risky. For instance, if you own Tesla and Neon tweets that its price is too high, which you have done before, your portfolio could experience a significant decline. Owning index funds, which contain hundreds or thousands of stocks, allows you to spread your risk across the foolishness of many CEOs. The second benefit of investing in index funds is that you can keep more cash in your wallet. Throughout investing career, numerous well-known mutual funds will figuratively siphon off hundreds of thousands of dollars from your wealth. You can largely avoid this problem by investing in low-cost index funds. Even investing, Warren Buffett advises investors to place the majority of their money in these types of funds. And finally, there is no simpler way to buy an index fund. And there are 3 reasons why this is so. There isn't much research to be done to start. In essence, you decide which fund basket best suits your needs, and then you're done. Second, you won't be able to check your investments 60 times a day to see if you need to sell them because you'll probably hold these funds for a long time. To never again manually invest your money, you can set up automated contributions to these funds. After beginning your journey with index funds, you might choose to diversify. Here are 5 things to think about before investing in any index fund. What is the target market first? The entire US is covered by some index funds. While some index funds follow broad indexes that concentrate on particular stock market sectors, industries, countries, or company sizes, others track more focused indices like the S&P 500. Which funds you purchase will depend on where you want your money invested. Second, what are your investment objectives? As you are aware, a dream without a goal is just a wish, and the investments you make should be in line with your expectations. As a result, specify the specific qualities you want in the funds you purchase. High growth potential, a track record of consistent dividend payments, or adherence to governance, social, and/or environmental standards are a few examples of distinguishing traits. The costs are listed next and are typically expressed on an expense ratio. An annual management fee is paid to the index fund manager in the form of a percentage of your investment. For comparison, a good expense ratio for a broad index of the stock market is 0.1% or less. However, as you become more specialized in the funds you wish to invest in, higher fees frequently outweigh the gains. Next, the fund then has a minimum investment requirement. For instance, some funds require a minimum initial investment, which may be prohibitive for the novice or cost-conscious investors. In general, these are more related to mutual funds and ETFs, but with a few $1,000s, you can access the majority of funds. Lastly, how constrained is the fund? No, I don't mean tight like your pants after the Thanksgiving meal. I refer to an endless fund's adherence to its underlying index here as stated by the majority of financial experts. They will also inform you that the best index funds have a strong correlation to their respective benchmark indices. Give this video a like to celebrate knowing more about index funds than 99% of people, something I recommend you boast about on your Tinder profile. Then, allow me to share with you 5 of the best index funds available, with the 5th being the one that will truly elevate your portfolio. Number 1. Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF or the VTI. Vanguard Total Stock Market assets are divided into 2 types: mutual funds and exchange-traded funds. Additionally, their ETF is probably the best option if you want to sign up for the mutual fund and meet the $3,000 minimum requirement. The VTI is designed to perform similarly to the US Total Market Index as measured by the CRSP, or the Center for Research and Security Prices. Over $1 trillion is contained within this fund, which contains almost 4,000 different stocks. VTF has a very low expense ratio of just 0.3% and has returned nearly 17% over the past 5 years. As we will follow the entire stock market now and in the future, I view this index fund as a set-it-and-forget-it investment. This suggests that this ETF might be worth considering if you want to take a hands-off approach to investment. Number 2. The Vanguard S&P 500 ETF or the VOO. One of my all-time favorites and a topic I frequently discuss is the second index fund. I think it's a good investment if you don't mind short-term volatility, as I'm more focused on long-term growth. If you are unfamiliar, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, also known as the VOO, is an exchange-traded fund that follows the S&P 500 stock index, which includes some of the 500 largest US-based companies by market capitalization. As I previously mentioned, the volatility of these ETF will depend on how the market performs, so this ETF is probably not for those who want to pass out whenever there is a dip. However, if you think the US will survive for another 50 years, you might find this amusing because it has proven to be resilient in difficult circumstances. The CPA Fund's financials show an expense ratio of 0%, a 5-year return of 1,620.6%, and other figures I can't help but mention. And as you might have guessed, the funds contain roughly 500 documents. Number 3. Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index Fund or the FNLIX. The Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index Fund is not a recognized component of the S&P 500. However, this does not imply that it is not a wise investment to think about. Simply put, they have discovered a fantastic way to avoid paying SP Global's high licensing fees, which enables them to offer out their fine and expense ratio of 0%. The best part is that this fund will still give you access to all of your favorite companies, including Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla, and that its top 3 industry holdings are consumer goods, healthcare, and technology. Therefore, if you want to feel like you're getting the best bang for your buck with index funds, then this is the one you should be checking out. Number 4. Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF or the VYM. The VYM is an ETF that holds just over 400 stocks, many of which are well-known companies like JP Morgan, Home Depot, and Bank of America. The financial sector accounts for just under 25% of the fund's holdings, with consumer goods and healthcare rounding out the top 3 sectors. In addition to owning one of the best index funds available, you'll also benefit from very generous dividend payouts. The VYM will increase your wealth by way of both appreciation and distributions. The fund's return over the past year alone was over 25%, and its dividend yield is a respectable 2.5%. Holding the VYM is less expensive than taking your girlfriend out. This fund has an expense ratio of just 0.6%, which is one of the reasons it made this list. Number 5. Vanguard ESG US Stock ETF or the ESGV. This last index fund is one that you should keep an eye on due to its connection to environmental, social, and governance investing. Millions of dollars have poured into the market in recent years as businesses are being urged to consider factors other than their bottom line when competing in their respective sectors. Guess what though? This pattern only seems to be getting worse. For instance, at the beginning of 2021, President Joe Biden proposed a $2 trillion infrastructure bill that would support furthering developing green initiatives and addressing climate change, which is good news for anyone owning this profitable index fund. Just so you know, the SGB wasn't exactly working hard to make people wealthy before this news. Getting into this bundle only requires you to take on an expense ratio of 0.9%, which, in my opinion, is a small price to pay to get into one of the most promising index funds available. The CTF's average 3-year return is just under 30%. And that's it for this video. Before you go, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.